If someone disappears the moment you're not available, no matter how much you've been available, you've shown up, no matter how many times you've changed your plans without telling them, bent over backwards to see them without them even knowing, or let others down just so you could see them, then let me tell you this. That's not love. That's you're not convenient for me right now, so you're not being chosen. And guess what? You're not here for that anymore. If this is hitting home for you, if this resonates, then there's a part of you right now that is feeling scared and feeling insecure. That if you don't make room for them, if you're not available always, they'll leave. Maybe you catch yourself checking your phone way too much, wondering if they'll reply. Maybe you find yourself rearranging your entire life, shifting your plans, or even hiding your true feelings just to keep the connection alive. Or maybe you've stayed silent when you wanted to speak up because you worried so much that your honesty might push them away. That mental load of juggling their mood, their needs, their schedules, their expectations, while desperately trying to keep your own heart steady. And when on that odd occasion you weren't free and you stood your ground, silence. This is the moment that those thoughts come in, those crazy thoughts in your head. You can't understand what's going on. Why are they doing this? You get really anxious. Messages go unread. Nothing. Silence. Total silence. You cried to your friends. It's been days now, maybe even weeks, and you don't understand. It was going so well. It was going so well. You feel uncertain, scared, abandoned, not enough. There must be something wrong with you. You're left hurting, anxious, not sleeping, can't focus or concentrate. Your friends tell you that that person's an absolute asshole, but you can't escape it, this feeling, these thoughts. And then a couple of weeks pass, and then they message, "Hey, babe, how are you? Sorry, been hectic. How you doing? Want to meet?" And boom, that fucking cycle continues. And whilst your friends are happy and joyful for you, inside they are banging their heads against a brick wall, hoping and praying that one day you'll wake up, that you'll see what is happening. But you don't. You don't. And it's been a cycle for so long, maybe not just with them, but with other people. And then your friends leave, not because they don't love you, but because they love you. They cannot bear seeing you going through so much pain. And why? Because you think there is something wrong with you, but there is nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You don't need to be fixed. You don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to question your worth. You are already enough. You are already worthy beyond belief. But the hard truth is, you might be unintentionally doing this to yourself. You see, part of you is still carrying an old program, messages that you absorbed long ago about what love, what worth, and what availability should actually look like. Maybe it's a part of the old program where you feel it's like, I'm only worthy when I'm available. If I'm not available, I lose love, I lose attention or connection. This is the part still needed to heal from that conditional love. The version of you that learned if you can't please them or show up exactly when someone wants you, you'll be rejected. But that's not the truth anymore. That's not even love. Love, connection, and worth aren't earned through availability, they're received through alignment. This isn't about being rejected. This is about now protecting yourself. And their silence, it could be revealing a pattern that you are no longer meant to engage in. Someone who only shows up when it's convenient for them, someone whose energy goes quiet the moment your reality doesn't fit their needs, what they desire. That's not your healed energy. You're rooted deeply now in trust, in truth, and emotional safety and honesty. You're seeing clearly. Your eyes are opening. There's a part of your programming that believed that your value is tied to availability and a real time mirror of someone who may not yet be able to meet the level of consistency that your energy really does require. And this is the quantum shift, the moment that you say, I don't chase, I align. And that my love is the quiet revolution of your entire healing journey. So now let's bring this back to your roots, your childhood, because this programming often begins there in those early years when love felt conditional, inconsistent, or really chaotic and confusing. Maybe you grew up learning that to be loved, you had to perform, you had to be available all the time, to never rock the boat, to never speak your truth. Maybe your needs were overlooked or dismissed. Maybe your voice was silenced out of fear of rejection, abandonment. So here's a journal prompt for you. So pen and paper time. Does this pattern of availability and love feel familiar from your childhood? Can you recall moments when you felt you had to be on or ready all the time to receive love or approval? How did that shape the way that you show up in relationships now? Take your time with this, write freely. There's no judgment, no shame, just honest reflection. Because understanding the roots of your programming is the first step to gently unlearning it and stepping fully into the healed heart you are becoming. The pattern wasn't just about someone not choosing you. It was about a deeper, more painful reality that you experienced, not allowing yourself to be truly seen, heard, or met because of a fear that if you showed up fully, you'd be abandoned. You learned often without realizing it to shrink yourself, to hide your needs, to silence your feelings, to soften your presence, all to avoid the unbearable pain of rejection, of loss. This pattern created an internal split. On one side, you desperately wanted to be loved and chosen for exactly who you are. But on the other, you are absolutely terrified that if you truly showed up with your full truth, your boundaries, your needs, you would push love away. So you settled for what you could get rather than what you truly deserved. You dimmed your light to make others comfortable. You made yourself small to stay connected, even if that connection was unstable, inconsistent, conditional, or painful. But here's the truth. You have the power to step out of that now. You have the power to choose you, to see your worth exactly as you are without having to hide or diminish any part of yourself. You deserve to be fully seen in your wholeness, fully heard and deeply met. You see, healing means reclaiming the courage to show up in your whole being, in your whole self, even if it feels scary, because the right people, the truth is, the right people and the right love will meet you there. And this was me. I lived that exhausting cycle, endlessly chasing, doubting myself, rearranging my life just to feel seen and safe, to be available when they needed. I carried the weight of childhood wounds that told me love was conditional, that my worth depended on being available and perfect. I silenced my needs. I numbed my pain. I was trapped in that pattern for far too long, for far too long. And this is exactly why I created the Healed Heart Blueprint, because healing isn't just about changing behaviors or setting boundaries. It's about going deeper to the roots where these beliefs first took hold. So, inside this transformational journey, we don't just work on the surface, we gently reconnect with your inner child, the part of you that still feels unseen, unheard, and unsafe. We create a safe space where your younger self can finally be seen, loved, and held through compassion, with compassion. And through guided inner child meditations, we get to the root. Trauma informed breath work and embodied energy practices, you will begin to soften old wounds and rewrite the story that you've been carrying. And you will learn to recognize when your old programming is trying to control you, and how to step fully into the healed heart energy that you've been building all along. So, this isn't about forcing change or fixing yourself. It's simply this: it's about honoring the tender, sacred parts inside you, offering them radical kindness and love, and creating a new foundation of trust in yourself, in your worth, and in the love that you deserve. So, if you are ready to step out of the exhausting chase, to heal those deep rooted patterns, and to come home to your true whole self, then the Healed Heart Blueprint is waiting for you. Because you don't just deserve love, you deserve to feel safe, steady, fully seen, fully supported in it. So, all you need to do to find out more about that is click the link below this video or in my bio and join us and begin the journey toward your healed heart, where true peace, consistency, and soulful aligned connection live. The belief that I had to be available all the time was deeply buried within me, with men, with friends, family members. And those times when I wasn't available, when they wanted me, this would happen. Ghosting, silence. So it's like I'm sharing this with you all and seeing more of my past too. And it is sad, but it's also like I've done another ascension, another level of growth and awareness from this to this. And this really is thanks to the course that I have created, the Healed Heart Blueprint. It really works in ways that I have ascended in worth, value, love, peace, no longer settling for crumbs in ways, I am beyond grateful for, which is why I created it all for you too, because it works if you put in the work. Obviously, with the work, I'm finally able to see clearly. Every time I wasn't available, I was silenced or ghosted, left wondering, what did I do? What did I do wrong? And I would feel dreadful about myself, just like you are now. And as I said, it happened over and over and over. But now I understand it wasn't about me. It was about old patterns and the need to heal from them. But here's the thing, when it last happened, because of this Healed Heart Blueprint that I've carefully created for you all to heal, I could see it so clearly. And I didn't feel anything. It didn't trigger me. It didn't trigger me. And do you know why? Because now I'm rooted in my worth and safety. I've rewired those old wounds. I'm no longer running on fear or scarcity. I hold space for myself. I hold space for myself, and that changes everything. And it's crazy how often this came up for me, but I couldn't see it like If I wasn't available on their schedule, the silence would kick in. And it was beyond painful, so incredibly painful. But looking back, I see it now that it was a part of my growth, my own ascension, and my healing. And so if someone wants to do that again, it won't trigger me because it doesn't. And I'm not playing that game anymore because I'm just too rooted in my value and worth to give a shit. It's with this program, the Healed Heart Blueprint, that I'm finally able to see it clearly now. So let me wrap this up. Here's the truth I want you to hold close. When you stop ghosting yourself, when you stop hiding your needs and silencing your feelings and shrinking your presence out of fear, you can no longer be ghosted by others because true love doesn't disappear when you're not conveniently available. It shows up ready, consistent, and fully present. It chooses you every time, no matter what. Ghosted because you weren't convenient. That's not love. That's a game, one you are no longer willing to play. Now you're free to claim the real love that you deserve, aligned love, whole, steady, and true. And because you choose you, because you chose you, because you chose no more being a pawn in someone else's story, that's when you're then able to receive the love that meets you, that walks beside you. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. For all the details about the Healed Heart Blueprint or all of my coaching solutions, you can click the links below this video or in my bio. I'm Natalie. It's been an absolute pleasure. And as always, I will be back very, very soon.